doing what you want to do instead of necessarily fitting the norm and calling yourself Stan. You know, it's sure it's key.
Do any of you feel like the anime manga genre kind of is bringing more female creators to the field, or do you feel like that's
I do.
It's kind of a gateway, or do you think
I think so. I'm not a huge anime fan. I'm getting more into comics now over the last year, but as far as anime and manga, it's still kind of foreign to me, except for Am I Immortal? And I'm even getting used to hers. But I have seen a lot more females, not even just the anime, but the webcomics too, is really opening it up to more females. Absolutely. Liz?
Well, for me, I've been watching anime manga since as long as I can remember. At first, it seemed more robotic and more macho stuff, male story oriented, but when women start getting influenced, it seems like it's a 50-50 share. And what pulls it in, like I started picking up the style back in my junior year of high school. And it seemed to intrigue me more. And the storylines on most of the anime was more phenomenal than what I've been seeing on TV lately. And so from what I realized, it was more media controlled. And so mostly the ones that I wanted to see, I would have to buy because they wouldn't air it on TV. So that's how I started.
Last. You right here.
She said Stan.
Running down the line.
I have to admit, like, I'm not really like a big fan either, but when I was younger, I was really big into Sailor Moon. And it did influence me a little bit in my writing, you know, as a teenager. So, you know, every little thing here and there, you know, it just, I like to be eclectic. And I think, you know, in the long run, something like that, you know, very influential to some of the characters that I've come up with over time.
I get to go last. Okay. Probably, I think that I wasn't influenced necessarily by things geared towards women. It was that I would find something that I really liked, and then to my great joy discover that a chick made it. Yes. Okay, I saw you first. You're next.
I was wondering, since there's so many more women in Japan that are probably gathering together to create more comics, is it happening in America? Or they're using mostly the internet to basically equalize between the men and women drawing comics, drawing webcomics, I guess?
I'm going to let Steph go first this time.
I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really good with numbers, but I'd be willing to bet that the internet does help in many ways, because that's how I hooked up with these guys. So it definitely facilitates a lot of, you know, networking opportunities and, you know, getting your work out there, getting your name out, you know.
And then what about the tradition where, you know, you find somebody, if you're lucky, you find another woman who wants to gather and probably start up something together?
It's a crapshoot. You just keep looking to see what happens, you know. Maybe you'll make that love connection, maybe you won't. You know, so you gotta roll the dice. And it's any other kind of gambling metaphor I can use that I can't think of at the moment.
Waiting.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like a process. Like when I joined CAG, I found it as a great opportunity to learn about the business and comic book industry and how things are organized, how things are run. Like, this is the first new thing for me, kind of like an internship that I've never had in college, because when I was taking classes, you just do the assignments and then you're done, and it's more like a collaborative field with working with people. And so I'm also learning as well. Like, for me, like, I need to get used to creating art for a person who creates a story. I'm reading a story right now from another writer in the guild, and I might be working on a project with him. And so it helped me get out more and speak to new people, and if they can't find the right connection, they will find the right person for you. And right now we're national, but we also have some people internationally, like in London, Canada, and Brazil. So we're growing, men and women.
For me, beyond doing the membership coordination for CAG, I also, my field of expertise is promotions. So I do all of the promotions for different comic books. And one thing that I've seen through social networking, like on the internet, like you mentioned, there are primarily 3 sites that I use for promotions. One of them is ComicSpace, the other one is DeviantArt, and the other one is Facebook. Those are the 3 major ones that I use. And one thing that blew my mind when I first went on DeviantArt is there are a lot of females on DeviantArt that you don't necessarily see in ComicSpace. Facebook is getting to be almost 50-50 almost.
Yeah.
But DeviantArt has a lot of females, and it's very impressive, and there is a lot of talent out there.
A lot of untapped potential.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of DeviantArt because I felt that the website itself was difficult to manage, but I'm slowly learning, aren't I, honey?
Yes, you are.
He kept on talking to me about DeviantArt for about 2 years now, and I would go on it and I would get so frustrated. But I really, once I opened up my own membership and started playing around with it, there are a lot of manga artists, there's a lot of traditional illustrators, comic book artists that are on Deviant. If you're an artist or a writer out there and you want to team up specifically with a female, because you want to do that female-on-female connection, go on DeviantArt, because that's probably your best outlet. Yeah, okay. We're going to just edit that one out.
Well, banner, Sue Soares, out of the closet.
Something you want to tell me about here?
Man, I'm going to be quiet now. But anyway, go on DeviantArt, and if you want to team up with a female artist to do a project of a comic or manga nature, that's probably the best place to go.
And hey, you know what? If I can take the time to plug, you know, and you guys, I'm Kitsch Factor on DeviantArt. If you want to, you know, work on something, I'm all ears. I'm definitely game. So.
I just wanted to know, is it possible the why that DeviantArt has so much females is like any underground situation where women don't have like the power in the media, so they go to something like, because we just had another one with fan fiction, the majority is like 90%, maybe 80% women, like 10-20% men, because the men control mostly the TV and the canon stuff. So I'm wondering if it's pretty much the similar way that it's happening with also the artwork.
It's anonymous. It's anonymous, and you think about the name DeviantArt. Deviant is someone that's out of the ordinary.
Right.
Or a rebel. And certainly, I think that that's maybe where it got its start. You know, I started using it after it was already established. But when you start out with a social networking site at its origin, you kind of get to see where their goal was. And I don't know if anyone else uses DeviantArt that may be around for a while. That definitely seems to be what their goal was.